Hello, welcome to Evolve Pipedrive podcast, where we talk all things Pipedrive, sales, apps, and Pipedrive marketplace. My name is Bruce Bignell, sales director here at Evolve. It's my great pleasure to be joined by Mitch Conery, the co-founder and director at Buzz.ai. Today, Mitch is going to be taking us through a platform, introducing us to the platform at Buzz.ai and how it integrates with Pipedrive. Without further ado, over to you, Mitch.
Yeah, thanks, Bruce. Appreciate it. And for the purpose of today, really just want to walk through how our Pipedrive users get so much value out of Buzz. And it really revolves around the ability to create various campaigns and then be able to loop those campaigns back and get real-time two-way pipeline management using Pipedrive and our native integration with Pipedrive. You can find us in the marketplace. We can easily integrate directly within the Buzz dashboard. But jumping into sort of what Buzz is, what we do from the dashboard perspective, why our clients get so much value, you'll notice, we've got various things that we look at here. There's an assortment of campaigns. There's no limit to the amount of campaigns that our clients can create, which of course is great when we're looking at things like A/B testing, trying to drive value, find a replicable process that they can sort of undertake and use to produce success at scale. But as we look at these campaigns, we're tracking the core metrics that any marketing or sales team should be looking at. And what we found is, of course, when we're working on things like LinkedIn, it's traditionally unreported. So there's no way to really track the levels of success that you have or can find. So what we've done is we allow our clients to track the response rates, the acceptance rates. When we're sending out emails, we can track email open rates. If we're including links, we can track the click rates, whether they're clicked on in email or clicked on in LinkedIn. And then, of course, the treacherous bounce rates. So depending on the data and sources that you're using, of course, bounce rates are going to be there. I think it's very, very tough to avoid, but the cleaner your data, the more we should avoid those bounce rates. And just as the way Buzz runs, we bring in prospects as new. They become contacted by our system. On LinkedIn, we get connections. Then we start to look at reply rates and the number of replies that we receive. We can manually mark those as leads and customers as we go.
So what we're looking at here, so this is the Buzz campaign dashboard, right? So these campaigns, have these been built using Sales Navigator? Like how has this been put together?
Yeah, it's a great segue to how do we build campaigns and what can our clients do and the different kind of touch points that
We
we can
didn't
get
even
in.
plan that. That was just
Yeah, too smooth. We're too smooth. So when we bring in a search, it's kind of how do we do it, and it's a great point. With Buzz now, and as of this week, and if you're watching this, the week of April 27th, last week of April here in 2022, um, we've added a search function within Buzz. It gives you access to our database of 153 million B2B profiles. Those profiles will include LinkedIn and email at the very least. In some cases, will include phone numbers. All of that can be sorted. Today, the bulk of our clients, though, to your point, Bruce, they're using LinkedIn Sales Navigator or some form of LinkedIn to source, or they're bringing in their own data sources. We see a lot of good sources out there now that include LinkedIn URLs. With Buzz, I will say we don't need to have LinkedIn URLs anymore. We can run strictly email campaigns. We can be that single source of outreach for you. The LinkedIn emails, of course, let you do things like this: send connection requests out and engage LinkedIn profiles.
Mhm.
We hope in the future we'll have some reverse lookup. Not today, but
Mhm.
the main idea, exactly like you say, is Sales Navigator. So for those of you that use Sales Navigator, this will be second nature. For those of you that don't, Sales Navigator is a premium version of LinkedIn. So it's a paid version of LinkedIn, but it gives you certain capabilities that allow you to sort of source and articulate groups of LinkedIn users based on, different um, filtering criteria. So if you look at things like the geography, and if you're in the UK, you might target the UK, you might get more specific. Say you're targeting, New York City in the US. Um, you might jump into New York, New York. You can go as close as postal code or zip code, which allows you to really drive in on a particular area. If you're finding, success locally, you might want to source locally. But various targeting criteria. So if we were targeting, let's say, computer software companies, we could target by industry. And excuse my Sales Navigator. Or let's throw in internet because for whatever reason I'm having a difficult go here.
I think it's just Zoom sometimes slows down the um, the browsers.
Yeah. So you basically the idea of Sales Nav is that we can jump through and we can do all of the targeting based on the personal information. Where's this person located? What industry are they in? What's their first name, last name, if you want to go that far? Things like their job function. Are they in a sales role? Are they in an operations role? Really thinking about who you're trying to target. Let's say we're going to target HR professionals in New York who are in hospitals and healthcare, which we've seen actually become a hot spot with everything that's happened in the world the last 2 years. You can get very specific with job titles, very specific with seniority levels. So if you're looking for people at a senior level, you might be looking at those director, manager, VP levels. And not to pitch Sales Nav, but it is a great tool for being able to source within LinkedIn. You can do different Boolean searches and really try and get an articulated look at the people you're reaching out to. But once we've found a list, and 2,500 tends to be our recommendation for a cap on the size of a list. Reason being, Sales Navigator provides you 25 people per page. There's a maximum of 25 pages. So there is no data past the 2,500 profile that's loaded. So a list like this, perfect. So we'll see our clients, they'll copy the link for their target group. This is a group of people, I should say, that they would normally be reaching out to by sending a connection request. They might go view the profile. They might try to do certain subtle touch points to try and engage prospects. Scalability, of course, by time, just the amount of time that would be spent to do that, can be very, very laborious and very time consuming, leaving little time to do all of the other stuff we know a lot of salespeople have to do within their day to day, things like managing their accounts, actually selling to the accounts, trying to do those activities that really drive revenue past sales prospecting and top of funnel activities. So being able to copy this link, you bring it back into Buzz, you can paste that link in. Buzz will then go and essentially bring those profiles into our system and create manageable records that you can perform outreach to. So
Across every page, not just that first page.
not just the first page. So all 1,500. This is somewhere between 15 and 2,000
Yeah.
people. So that's exactly right. So we would bring in the entire group. And the difficult piece for users, and we see this and we still hear it from time to time, is that they'll attempt to bring these records in by copy and pasting information off of the profile so that they can get that data into Pipedrive. And they're going to be missing information. There's things that you can't get here. There's things like work emails. There's things like phone numbers that aren't always accessible on the profile. And in a lot of cases, when they are, unfortunately, it's personal data. So with Buzz, we've integrated that database, 153 million prospects. That gives us a very, very good look. And I think today there's somewhere around 900 million or the late 800 million profiles. So we've done a really good job getting coverage on a lot of the key decision makers that our clients will be targeting. And that allows us to enrich. And we'll kind of dive into that a little bit as we jump through. But that's definitely one of the big pieces, is something to think about for anyone that might be watching this, is how are you getting information into Pipedrive? How are you getting information into your CRM and being able to manage those important people? Are you a copy and paster? Is that your style, is to go in and copy and paste? Because it's very tedious to even prospect on LinkedIn. It's not really designed to be able to do scalable outreach. It's not designed to have follow-up scheduled. It's not designed to, it can be a messy system, a great system for sure, but a little bit messy and chaotic. So this is one style. Is the Sales Navigator is big. Our clients love it. Other things that we've integrated into Buzz are things like post URLs. So the amazing thing about post URL, and this was really, as a little backstory on this, was driven by clients, and we are a client-driven product. We've built this product for our own internal use here at Buzz and things that we see as being valuable. We started out as Pipedrive users. That was our CRM when we started. We just needed pipeline management to sit on top of Buzz. Perfect synergy with what we were doing, just to manage our pipeline, forecast our revenues, understand where deals are. And that's really where Pipedrive brought us a lot of value. But in having conversations with clients is really how we've developed Buzz and understanding what do clients really want. And one of those things was intent. I don't want to look at a sales nav list. I want to actually understand active users. So here, you can do certain things within your filtering to say, hey, somebody who's posted on LinkedIn in the last 30 or 90 days, different things like that. But unfortunately, you don't get a look as to certain insights that they might have. So what we did is we allowed our clients to start to target posts. So what that means is you can take competitors, similar businesses that you might integrate with, businesses that go hand in hand with yours, but essentially target businesses or thought leaders for that matter who might be engaging your prospects. And rather than targeting persona driven criteria or filtering, you're essentially able to take, and we see this most valuable in things like promoted ads. A lot of our users and a lot of Pipedrive users, I would imagine, you're going to be SMB, probably mid market, and you're looking for ways to stretch out your ad spend and start to deliver better value. And being able to sort of piggyback on the ad spend of maybe the front runners in your industry or those competitors who are driving a lot of social noise and getting a lot of attention, you're able to basically take a promoted ad. Better yet, for teams who don't quite have a marketing team or something like that, take the marketing collateral that they've produced, which in some cases can be more valuable and tougher to get out than a couple bucks to get your ad into a promoted category. But looking at something like this, we've got 59 people who've engaged in this ad. Our clients will go in, they'll take a look. Hey, what does this group look like? Director of sales, branch manager, managing director. A company like us is Buzz. We're a sales driven organization. People who are engaging in sales tools, sales products, things that augment sales teams' workflows, it's a great place for us to start for a couple reasons, and not to drag this out too far, but a couple really good reasons. The first one being these people typically already understand what we're doing. So we don't have to go teach them or get them in to buy into Buzz. They're already looking at ways and engaging in products that help them to do this. And then also really importantly, we know that they're active on LinkedIn and we know that they're engaging in these specific products. So that's a great way for us to be able to go in, copy the link for this post, and you'll notice this is a running theme, is taking the URLs, copy the link to the post, bring that back to Buzz, simply paste that in. Now we're targeting everyone who's engaged in that post.
That's super cool. I've never seen that. That's very cool. And just that intention is just as from my enterprise sales days, I should do that and find posts in the realm of following a hashtag, right? And be like, okay, why has this post got 50 people are talking on it? And I'll just go there and just try and either drop some insight, or in this instance, you'd be able to say exactly they know you know what they're looking after, you know what they're looking for. Do they still need help with that project? That's banging. That's very good.
Yeah, 100%. And we see the same thing, and we kind of took it a step further as well. So we also allow our clients to target events. So if there's certain events that are happening on LinkedIn, and we see this all the time, we're moving into a very virtual world in contrast to where we were 2 years ago, where virtual events and summits, sure, they happened, but it wasn't the norm. And now what we're seeing is events that probably used to attract 2,500 people are now getting 30, 40,000 people engaged because there's some kind of virtual element attached to an in-person event, or the event's gone fully virtual. And two ways: if it's a virtual event, great. If it's an in-person event that your company can't attend for budgetary reasons, or your company is going to attend, what better way to set up meetings than to start building out your network with the attendees prior to showing up at the event.
It's huge. Yeah.
So it's a very, very similar thing. You identify the event that you want to target. Once you have that link, copy that link, 22,000 people. And this is probably a cutting example of exactly what I just said. You've got 22,000 people who are attending this event. You're bringing that link in. Now you're targeting all the people who are attending that event. So that's another big intent-driven strategy that our clients are using, past just a typical search and navigate. You can do other, things like Sales Navigator saved list. So this is a very hyper articulated group. You're going around LinkedIn, you're saving profiles. If you know what I'm talking about, it looks something like this. Yep. Save this into a particular group, hiring whatever it is that you're targeting. Those people will move in. Then you have these lead lists that are created. And essentially within these lead lists, much the same. we can copy these links. And there's a Pipedrive thing I was up to. We'll ignore that for the purposes of this. I don't know exactly what I was doing, but definitely articulated putting together a group of people specific to Pipedrive that I was noticing across LinkedIn, and creating that saved list. And then you've also got Recruiter. So for recruiting clients who are looking for candidates or looking for job orders, this is a great way to be able to leverage your very, very expensive LinkedIn account. The Recruiter accounts I know can go in excess of $1,000. So a great way to be able to leverage those. And then CSV files. If you've got data, you've got stuff that you want to pile in, we'll take it by all means. It never contributes to our database. We have I should say that just as a precursor and disclaimer, we have a very strict criteria for our data. And as much as we love that you love your data, we prefer our own. So there's never a reason to feel like, hey, I'm putting data in here, they're just going to add that to their database. That's not the way we roll, just because our data source, we check the 153 million profiles that we have 215 billion times every month. And it's something over 2.5 trillion times per year in order to validate the data sources. And we do that based on real sending through our network of partners who are involved in the data that we have. So definitely, see clients use this, whether they're using Zoom Info, Seamless AI, data that they might have scraped together and put together themselves. Drag and drop those files, map them in Buzz. Ton of value there.
Okay.
And then the next piece, this is sort of the who do we want to get in front of? How are we going to get in front of them? Buzz is designed, again, to be completely seamless in that way, is creating a single cadence, tracking the metrics, track the results, see what's working, make your adjustments as you go. You might want to send those people connection requests. This is going to do that for you. Send out things, based on variables, so we can take things off of profiles, information. Hey, I've seen you've been at a company for this many years, or you've had this many positions in your career. The college that they went to, the occupation that they currently have. So what's the actual job title that they have? Hey, first name, saw that you're this job title. I'm working with a lot of companies in location, pulls their location, wanted to connect. So you can make this very, very personalized. And that's the key to Buzz, is not to be automated for the sake of being automated, but to really think through what you would want to achieve if you were doing this manually, which we think is, a lot of people come to us. It's about consistency, delivering 5 days a week with a consistent pattern and a consistent strategy that really allows you to sort of replicate, hey, this works. Let's bring in more profiles that look like these people so that we can understand and engage better, have higher success rates, get more demos booked, drive revenue, fill the pipeline, all those core areas revenue teams are looking to sort of, jack up and put on steroids, if we can say that. So with Buzz as well, this is LinkedIn data. Our starting plans, we have 1,000 enrichment credits. Although you can bring in all the profiles that we brought in here, the enrichment credits are access to the verified email for those profiles. So we might even start before our connection request. That multi-channel aspect that we've kind of talked about is really driven by being able to target enrich emails, do things like, hey, first name in the subject line, send these emails out through your sending system prior to sending a connection request. So you can get those initial touch points in without ever having to do anything on LinkedIn. You could actually just avoid LinkedIn altogether and just strictly send out emails to profiles that you've extracted and brought in from LinkedIn. Some really, really cool things that I want to dive into, Bruce, and I know that we kind of talked about this as a precursor before we jumped in, is sort of what does Buzz, how do we make this even more personal? And we've seen a lot of traction built by some amazing companies like Vidyard and Loom when we talk about things like video prospecting, which is starting to shake up the prospecting world a little bit. And for those of you who aren't familiar, essentially what we're seeing is companies, and you might have received these, you might have seen them. It's essentially those videos that are being delivered into your inbox. You're typically seeing your LinkedIn profile behind the person that you're targeting. And this video is created on a one-to-one level. What we've done at Buzz is we've created an automated system to be able to produce those videos for our clients. And here's what that looks like. We jump in. If we wanted to insert a Buzz video, into our send message. And I'm just going to turn off my camera because that way I can pick up my camera on the screen. You'll get
Yeah.
something that looks like this. So we insert a Buzz video. You'll either have some that you've created in the template section, or you can create them natively within your campaign if you've got a specific use case. We would click create video. At the same time, while we're recording this video, we're also going to be looking at different aspects of the profile. These can be things like the activity. So if we're looking at a recent post, like let's say that Proposify post is the link that we're targeting, within the activity, if this is going out within a reasonable time, is also going to show that post was liked by them. This is going to be the activity of the profile that we're targeting. If we look
Yeah.
at one of the lists, and just to give you an idea, scrolling back and forth and up and down, that scrolling pattern is going to be a unique scrolling pattern that is going to be reflected on every profile, like Donna, Gabriel, Tim, as we work through um, sending out these videos. So it's going to be that single recording. It might look something like this. Like, hey, it's Mitch from Buzz. Thanks so much for accepting my connection request. I just wanted to circle back. I saw that you liked a really, really cool post by Proposify, and I was curious to kind of touch base, learn a little bit more about what you thought was so engaging, and understand if you're using Proposify and how you're using it to help scale your business and revenue team. Once you're done that recording, and you could, record that piece several times,
Yeah.
you then have the option to add that scrolling pattern. So you can add it in later. So here we're adding in those different scrolling pattern. So show that we're looking at the profile.
Yeah.
And then essentially as this video finishes, now you'll see this recording sync up with the video.
Very cool. Okay.
So essentially now you've got both. You can start over, but once you save this video, it's going to include itself inside of your message. And it's actually going to look something like this. Just to give you an idea, this is ones that I've recorded and sent out using Buzz. So this is actually one that was sent out. And Joe, if you're watching this, just for sake of example, I appreciate your support in sending this. So Joe would have just became a first degree connection.
Mm-hmm.
And here's what that message is: me reaching out, thanking him for accepting my connection request. His profile, some custom scrolling happening. Joe is in B2B leads. That was the reason that I reached out. So he's doing some stuff in lead generation and experimenting and marketing. So it just made sense for our business to try and connect with him.
Mm-hmm.
And then essentially we're creating this video done once, sent to 1,000 people with Buzz's video technology.
Yeah, that's very cool, isn't it?
So we're with this, we'll see some future advancements that we're super excited about clients being able to customize this landing page, do things like include their Calendly as a snippet in the bottom or their virtual link and things like that so that they can get meetings booked. While Buzz videos in beta, we have seen like phenomenal success rates. Things start to skyrocket, a lot of attention being driven. It really is that video component that people are looking to produce, but never have enough time in a day to make it worthwhile.
Yeah.
And that really, it falls back really, really good use cases for video. Obviously, persona driven targeting. If you can draw connections between everyone that's going to be within a particular campaign, whether they're all marketing CMOs, they're all chief level executives, they're all within the greater Philly area, as an example, greater Philadelphia in the US.
Mm-hmm.
If you can find those pieces and tie them all together, it allows you to make the video even more personalized. Now, while you can't say things like the first name, you might be able to say, hey, I saw that you're, the COO at a Philly-based company. I'm doing so much work right now with chief executives, and I really thought that it would be interesting to touch base, see if we could tie some things together. Again, thanks for accepting my connection request. If I can introduce you to anyone in my network, bring them a little bit of value, just let
Yeah.
me know. But otherwise, really would look forward to getting a couple minutes from you to understand a little bit more about what you guys are doing and how you're solving problem X.
Yeah. I love it. So okay, so from the campaign standpoint, you've got the where your leads are coming from. You've then got your outreach via email, LinkedIn. Now this video. Are you building the kind of multi-step campaign? Is that what these adding steps are now? This is kind of creating the multi-channel approach here.
Yeah, exactly. So you could go back and forth now between LinkedIn and email, sending
Yeah.
out messages. Unlimited number of steps. There's no restriction. We can do things like subtle touch points. So you can go and like some post for somebody. So imagine
Yeah.
you get connected, you go like some post, then you send them a personalized video. Engagement levels, people love to engage with people that are engaged with them. So if I can
Hmm.
get these subtle touch points across your profile over a week, the likelihood of getting responses and ultimately creating business opportunities is going to be driven that way. So everything, you're spacing out messages by days, by hours in a way that is designed to look natural, because obviously the goal isn't to send 3 messages, every 4 days for the next 3 months. The goal is to
Yeah.
try and get responses by bringing value, and
Do
driving
you want to
that
put your
personal,
Zencaster
those personal touch.
video back on?
Yeah, I sure do. Sure do. I got hung up on the video. It's super exciting, but I'm glad that it was able to
No, that's very cool.
pick up those pieces. So
So
that's the video
yeah,
aspect.
no,
Once we
it's
have
very,
these
very cool.
campaigns, it's it, I
So
for sure. I
how
definitely
does this
appreciate.
integrate with Pipedrive? What's the so we've built this campaign. We've now got it. It's running.
Yeah, once so the campaign's built, it's running. Everyone who is here, like I said, they become manageable prospects. So you can see them inside of the
Understood.
prospects tab, where they're at, what kind of data and we have on them. Do we have their emails, their phone numbers? So you can see here we've got a personal email. Comcast.net is a personal email in the US. We can see that we've got their business. We've also got their mobile. Same thing with John. These were all profiles that are connected to LinkedIn. If I click here, it's going to take me into John's LinkedIn account. So that's exactly right. So then once we have these, we can try and enrich additional profiles. Clicking in, we're not going to have every single profile in full transparency.
Hmm.
Again, we've got a really big list, and you can see here it's well filled out. But it really does come down to the purpose of our conversation, Bruce, is how do we get these guys into Pipedrive once we have them interested? Because what our outlook here is that we don't want teams to be bogging down their CRM with deals that aren't high probability. So
Yeah.
you want people that are engaged, you want people that you've had conversations with. And Pipedrive is great for that because you are managing a pipeline, and these are revenue opportunities that you're tracking to a close. So let's say we look at an example like Baron Wood. Baron Wood, you'll notice within our inbox, we've got LinkedIn and email synced together. So all of the conversations that we have with a profile are contained in this multi-channel inbox. We then get Baron first name, like where he is, located, job title, what company he's at, where he is in his campaign. We can resume the campaign if we want to kickstart things back off at a certain point. We can also see that we've got some contact data here. We've got the email address for Baron, and then here we've also got a deal. But I think for the purpose of today, I really want to show you what this looks like from a Pipedrive user perspective. So with Pipedrive, of course, it is driven by having deals in your pipeline. Um, and also, of course, having contacts, having manageable records. So clicking on this create new deal, what we're able to do, and you'll notice I've got that pipeline open here inside the Pipedrive. As I mentioned, we're Pipedrive users ourselves. Let's say we scheduled a demo with Baron. What this is going to look like here, you'll notice every category within pipeline, and I could jump between different pipelines that
I
exist
was
in
just about to
Pipedrive.
say what. So just to capture what we're seeing here, you've got the deal name that you've already created in Buzz. You can then choose your pipeline that's associated with your Pipedrive. Can you choose someone else? So I see that's connected to you, Mitch. Could I assign that deal to someone else in the company?
100%.
Yeah,
Yeah. So any Pipedrive user in your account that's also connected to Buzz
yeah,
will be able to have that visibility of their pipeline as long as they're all integrated within your workspace. But
yeah,
that's exactly right. So based on the Pipedrive that's connected to the account, you're able to see. So here we're looking at mine. If we look here, we're looking at mine. We're looking at the demo pipe. But you'll notice pipeline partners, customers, demo, new demo
yeah.
is exactly what we see inside of Buzz. It's a really good point. Partners, customer demo, new demo, all those pipelines can be managed within Buzz. And if we book this as demo scheduled, the greatest piece is now we've got a lead that's active. Creating that deal, we're going to notice that deal shoot directly into the demo scheduled inside of Pipedrive. Also become manageable within Buzz. I might just need to refresh here or confirm I'm on the right pipeline. But that's exactly right. So the idea is that once we have these deals, we'll be able to push back and forth, look at the deals. Better yet, for our super users, whether they're using Pipedrive or using Buzz, the great thing, and I apologize about the speed on my computer here,
No,
Bruce.
no, it's just Zoom. Zoom, it does that sometimes. If you try refreshing it again, it might come up. But...
I was in pipeline, so we wanted to put this into demo pipeline in demo scheduled. So exact same. So once we hit create here, it's going to populate demo pipe, right? It's going to populate within demo scheduled. Now my computer might not be running at a speed that's going to make that worth sitting watching. But there you go. That's exactly right. So here's that deal now in demo. Because my new deals are connected to my Slack, I just got a Slack message as well. So any other integrations that you're building off of Pipedrive, really, really cool to know that they're all going to play together really well.
Nice.
Here's that deal with Baron. Now, if we take this deal and it was in demo scheduled, we'll move it over to say negotiations started using Pipedrive as our management system. Once we come back into Buzz, we've got a really cool pipeline built in. You'll see Baron Wood was here. Baron Wood's actually going to move to negotiations started now because that's where it is inside of Pipedrive. So as we move deals, whether we're moving them inside of Buzz or moving them inside of Pipedrive, that two-way sync keeps everything up to date. If I mark this as deal one, I'm probably going to get a Slack message. I'm going to see this deal get marked as one. There's my Slack message. And now that's going to be in one deal. So it's not even going to be on this pipeline anymore.
Yeah, that's right.
But that's exactly right. So we're basically everything that you would do within a deal and might do within a deal, reopen it, change the deal value, whether you do it in Buzz or do it in Buzz or do it in Pipedrive, all of that stuff is going to two-way sync. There's that deal value, $14.95 I just put in on Baron Wood. Baron Wood's back because I reopened the deal. Any piece that you would be looking to do, if we move things around with Buzz, we might need to refresh this to get that to kick off with that two-way sync, but there it goes there. So Baron Wood now moved over as almost as real time as it's going to get between systems. So with that said, that's the real value for Pipedrive users is this native integration makes it super easy to manage and sync your systems up from a prospecting perspective to a deal management. And we know that upper level management, startups, they're looking for visibility, they're looking for a source of truth. Mm-hmm. But in some cases, we see clients with this all the time. They're using Zapier, they're using webhooks, they're using all of these different systems to try and connect their CRMs to the systems that they use. It creates software exhaustion. There's night terrors of people with their Zapier accounts wondering what's disconnected. Why am I getting warnings? Why did 23 things not get pushed last week? I capped out my activities within a paid subscription on some other system that I'm using just to connect stuff. And we really want to try and resolve the software exhaustion piece and make an all-in-one frictionless system that connects your prospecting to your CRM and makes it super easy. You don't have to go back and forth between Pipedrive and Buzz, but know that everything is changing and be confident that things are synced and moving as they should be.
Yeah, I think that's a really good overview in terms of what Buzz.ai brings. It basically it's like a prospecting platform, right? So your idea here is that don't clog up your CRM with either data and or deals that aren't going to close. So, Pipedrive saying is coffees for closers. Maybe your CRM is for deals that's going to be won, or deals to be won. Whereas there is a lot of legwork that happens before it gets to those final 3 weeks, the final 3 months of closing a deal. And so, yeah, I really like the just how seamless the collecting of data from LinkedIn to put it into one place to actually for you then to prospect through that. So whether that's emails, LinkedIn messages, or whatever else, and now that the video, that's very, very cool.
Yeah, I certainly appreciate it. And I think from a user standpoint, that's really where the value is. And for your users, the reason why we were so excited to come in here and chat with you is if you're using Pipedrive and this is a problem that you're facing, this is a great solution for your team. Because what we find is, data, you go out, you buy 3,000 contact records, hoping, you're going to have some success with the validity of those contact records. They're still going to be good. Then there's a prospecting aspect that it probably, depending on your team size, is going to take 3 to 6 months to effectively work those 3,000 contacts. And that might be low scale for certain organizations who are buying 10K to get bulk discounts on data.
Mm-hmm.
You're getting a CRM that's full of data that has a time limit. It's going to spoil at a certain point. Obviously, what happens, people change job, people change roles. What we found is using LinkedIn resolves that problem because we always have the contact information for the person because it's in a URL that changes far less often, if ever, in comparison to an email address for a profile. And the COO often doesn't change to an account executive in a different industry somewhere else. They're typically the message that you send them is going to resonate no matter what company they're at. They're going to understand the pain point that you're touching on, or the value that you're trying to bring them. So it's certainly great fit for Pipedrive users. I'll say that.
Yeah. No, I think that's great. I mean, unless there's anything else, I might want to kind of cap it there and ask anyone that's watching this to reach out to yourself for a personal demo and or give it a try. We'll be sure to put it in a link to maybe Mitch's own LinkedIn in the description below, and a link to trial Buzz AI for yourself as well in the descriptions. But unless there was anything else you wanted to go through here, Mitch.
I think it's great. I think, again, another perfect segue. If you're interested in learning a little bit more about Buzz, how this system can work for you, please book some time with myself, book some time with my team. We are happy to kind of run through, understand what your pain points are, and see how we can deliver the most frictionless sales engagement solution for your team and streamline things with your Pipedrive. If you're using Pipedrive, if not, still works great without
Yeah,
Pipedrive.
it works. Yeah, other CRMs are available.
Yes, exactly.
But no, I appreciate that, Mitch. Thanks so much. And I know going through the video piece today was really exciting because, again, it's just launched this week, final week of April in 2022. So, get involved and give that a try. Mitch, once again, nice to speak to you, buddy. And cheers, guys, for listening.